let's take this here and let's double check it, make sure that we are live streaming and you can hear me, Alyssa, all right?
That's correct. I can hear you.
Okay, very, very good. And that means the audience should be able to look at that. Look at that. I got a guest speaker for the very first time. That's very great. Okay, good. All right, and then let's do. Right, we got everything done. This is a live recording show. This is a live streaming show. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, I want to welcome everybody here to this show. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I am Warren Nelson, owner and director of Online Real Estate School Incorporated, and owner and guest speaker of my own podcast, Real Estate Saved My Lifestyle. I'm also the proud sponsor of this free live streaming real estate class. And we just added another show to our library, the Success in Real Estate, which that show is every Monday at 5 p.m. This free class that we are running right now, ladies and gentlemen, comes to all my potential students every Monday at 6 p.m. And on this show, what I try to do is a interview process, a live streaming process where you get to meet me, the instructor. You get to see what we're going to be teaching in the classroom arena, and you also get to see if my style matches what you're hoping to accomplish or receive in the classroom. So it's been one heck of a day, ladies and gentlemen. Mondays are like that. You'll see that Mondays in the real estate business is no day off. You hate Mondays now? Wait do you start the real estate business, ladies and gentlemen. Mondays are a very hectic day. And so, for the very first time, we will have a guest speaker, and I'm very happy to present everybody to Elismo Cruz. Elismo, welcome to the show today, sir. How are you?
I want to say thank you, Warren, for inviting me to this show. I'm very honored to be on this show. This is the first time being a guest speaker, guys. So excuse me if I'm a little nervous, but like I said, I want to thank y'all for watching as well. This amazing show that gave me the opportunity to be in school in real estate and choose Norn for this show. And I'm very grateful for what he has provided for me so far. And like he was stating in the last show, I passed my exams and I want to thank him so much for that, because without his techniques, his strategies that he gave me in class, I wouldn't be able to pass that test. So I want to thank you, Warren, for that.
Well, I thank you for all your kind words, Elismo, but you are an exceptional student. You pay attention, you're focused. I watch your homework assignment improvement. So, as much as I would love to take a lot of the credit, you have to pat yourself on the back for being a very good student as well. So, I'm lucky to have such a good starting point. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your starting point, Elismo? Because I think you've been in real estate for a little bit, or at least you've had a passion. Why don't you tell everybody your full name, tell us your age, and tell us before you got into real estate school, what drove you in that direction? Share with us.
No problem. Well, my age, I'm 19 years old. I graduated about, I want to say about a year or 2 years ago in high school. I was interested in real estate since I was a young boy. Since I was 12 years old when I started high school, my father taught me to be an entrepreneur. He told me that, being in business is the best opportunity you're going to have to accomplish the goals that you want. Not working for somebody who, want to make their money and just make you work for the money they're going to gain, and you to just get paid pay. I didn't want to get paid a paycheck each and every day of my life until I get old. That was not me. I wanted to be that opportunity to work as my own boss and to help other people see that reality, just as you're doing right now. And I think that what you're doing is helping young entrepreneurs like me have a step in this real estate game. So like I was saying, I got into real estate, like I said, the business. First it was Amazon. My father got into Amazon, started selling products, and he started teaching me the business at that young age. So I was not really interested in that technology and selling online. So I went in the revenue of doing real estate, because I like the art of teaching people. I like the art of talking to people and giving those people the opportunity to have a property they can live in. So when I was 16, I didn't know anything, but I started cold calling.
Interesting.
Yep.
Now, was you cold calling for a company as an employee, or was you cold calling for your
I
own
was,
product?
yep. I was just cold calling to do wholesaling.
Amazing. And so somebody talked to you, you never did that before, and so you just gutsily did it. And of course, it was outside your comfort zone when you first started, but you were willing to do it. So let's backtrack here. First of all, I'm piggybacking off of Dad because Dad good stock. So Dad gave you a very good starting point and very good principles, and he gave you that working discipline. So kudos to Dad from a very good starting point. And then you took what Dad was teaching you to heart and started incorporating and understanding that you already had long term goals of what you want to do for your future and understand that you have to start now. You can't procrastinate and keep putting it off, keep putting it off. So you
Exactly.
want to get started right now. And now you even ventured into something where I'll take you into the cold calling arena. So this tickles my funny bone. I like this because this is one of the hardest things that I need to teach my real estate agents to do after they get a real estate license. And so teaching them to go out of their comfort zone. So tell me about your cold calling. Did you have a script? Did you have it? Was it successful? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Definitely, definitely. Well, for me, I just started watching, different entrepreneurs on YouTube because as you saw in my classes, I had knowledge would that shocked you because I took the information as a young man to do the education I needed to learn those steps. So when I was doing it, I had no scripts. When I first did it, I had no scripts at all. So it was
Okay,
off in my head. And I want to
love it.
say it's a difficult process. I want to tell you right now, guys, being a real estate agent is tough. People gonna call you, they're gonna hang up. They're gonna curse you out. They're gonna say, "Why are you calling me right now? I don't want to work with you right now. Stop calling me." I had that every day, every day. But I
Gotta
had,
have the rejection.
yeah, you're gonna have a lot of rejection. It's true. I had two opportunities that I was gonna make a paycheck. Two opportunities, $10,000, and the other one $20,000. But those deals fall short because of the real estate agent.
See, so the other agent on the other day. So was it a creative deal that you were putting together that the other agent did not understand? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that happens because the cookie cutter. Not to be disparaging, it's just that they know what they know. They know how to do FHA deals, VA deals, and cash and conventional deals. But any kind of owner financing, seller financing, rent to buy, lease to purchase, these things kind of scare a lot of agents, and that will prevent the deal from happening. So you've already experienced that in your short lifetime, and so I'm impressed by the journey, the roads that you've already traveled as an entrepreneur, because as a young individual, you've definitely taken the entrepreneur route. So now tell our students that are looking at this class, thinking about joining a school, and they're doing their research now on what school that they should go to. What has your experience been? You're halfway through your 75-hour class, correct? So
Right.
you've just taken your first exam. Congratulations. Great scores, Lismo. You did great. I don't want to brag, but I think you were probably top three in the class.
Thank
But I won't go into names and so forth, but I'm very proud of your accomplishment. So you're halfway through the class, and that means you've already done 4 weeks, and now you're getting into another 4 weeks. Are you looking forward to the 4 weeks coming up?
Yes, I'm very looking forward to it. I'm very, happy that the score that I got, and I'm like I said, I'm very happy, and I can't wait for next class to start. I'm very excited to learn this new topics, this new chapter in my life. So yes, I'm very happy. Can't wait.
Has the course that you've taken so far in the last 4 weeks, has that built your confidence at all from where you were?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely built my confidence because it helped me gain more knowledge in the real estate business as I was before I was doing it and before I learned those topics in the real estate business. So it helped me a lot to get that confidence that I needed.
Have you learned? Were there a lot of things that you thought you could do, you can't do? Have you learned a lot in the class so far?
Definitely, definitely, especially the law, especially the law.
Yep.
Uh, I could
And
have done
so
a lot of mistakes without knowing that.
Yes, and there's a lot of law, fair housing law, the American Disability Act, and so federal law, state law, local law, protected classes, and so we have to understand that you got to know the law, you got to know the rules and the regulations, and you got to learn how to do proper behavior because you're conducting yourself as a professional. But since you have clients proprietary information, date of birth, social security numbers, employment information, we have a legal responsibility to handle that information. And this class talks about what you need to know to run a real estate business so that you handle these records in the proper way, that checks and deposits are made when they're supposed to be made, money's not commingled and there's no conversion. Of course, you understand what commingling and conversion means, but those who have not taken the class don't understand it. Some do, and but some won't, and they won't know how it applies, especially if they're renting out property and they don't know how to do the difference between the security deposit and the rent and the law that entails that security deposit and the rent. So that's why this class is an absolute must. And this is why the Real Estate Commission says that we have to take this class in order to receive a license and to educate. Now, some of my students who are thinking about joining the class have asked me several questions. One of my students wants to talk about what do you do after you get a real estate license? So I thought that was a very interesting question. There are many different avenues we can decide on. But let's talk about you, Alyssimo. What plans do you have after you get your real estate license? Which direction are you looking to go?
Well, for me, when I get my real estate license, I want to be in that direction of helping buyers and sellers sell their property or purchase a property. I want to represent, my sellers and my clients and be under a broker.
Okay, so you're going brokerage. You want to get into that. You want the money. So the most money you're going to make in the real estate business after you get a real estate license is most likely working for the brokerage for the commission. Of course, there are other avenues that the student could pursue. Maybe the student, after they get their real estate license, doesn't want to just work on commission. Maybe they need a salary as well as commission. Then in that situation, property management, working for a management company, one of the bigger names out there. You might see them. They have their names are all over the place. They don't own those buildings. They actually manage those buildings for the owners. So you could work for a big management company, or you could be your own little company where you work for just a couple different owners of property and finding the tenants and managing the property for them. So you could be an independent property manager, or you could work for a big company getting salary and commission. So there would be another avenue that you could take after you get a real estate license. Alyssimo is going brokerage. He wants to represent buyers and sellers, but you could choose to go property management, where you're doing leasing, you're not selling anything, you're renting it out, leasehold, and you're receiving compensation for that end of the arena. Or there's a different avenue that you might be able to want to take. Maybe you would want to work as an employee for a Fortune 500 company like Walmart, Pep Boys, McDonald's, Burger King. These are all corporations that have real estate holdings and their own holding department. So they're always looking for licensed real estate agents to represent the corporation and find new location for the corporation in the real estate arena. So there would be another avenue, avenue number three, that you can do with a real estate license. Work for a big corporation and the corporation's real estate holdings. You could also do avenue number four, work for franchises. Franchises are a big conglomerate and they're always looking for brand new real estate agents. And companies like Wawa, which are expanding in leaps and bounds up and down the East Coast finally, they're in Pennsylvania and they're in Florida, but all states in between are growing for Wawa in its industry. And so will they venture into those states? Well, it's up to the Wawa and their business model. But if they do decide to venture into those states, then they're going to need agents in each of these states to represent them. So there's another avenue that you can pursue after you get your real estate license. You can work for the franchises. You could also decide to work for developers. Many developers are, especially along the Delaware River, All right, we got a lot of Delaware riverfront property that's coming along. And so those developers they don't need a license to develop and own the property, but they need a license to sell those properties. So you with a real estate license would work to come in and play with a developer. So many different avenues that you can go, ladies and gentlemen. You could be your own investor as well. And so there are different avenues that we'll talk about in the classroom that you can choose to do after you get your real estate license, and we'll teach you how to do the interview and so forth. Now, Alyssimo, without mentioning the brokers' names, you started interviewing with some brokers already. Now, please don't mention the broker's name. We don't want to talk disparagingly about anybody in the competition, but everybody has their likes and dislikes about some of the interviewing process. So you interviewed a couple of the franchises, correct? The big name
Right.
franchises. How did those interviewing processes go? Enlighten the audience, but without giving out any names of the brokerages. All right. How did some of these interviews go?
Well, for my interviews for one of the brokers, like Warren said, we cannot discuss no names, but for one of them, they didn't even give me an initial interview. They didn't even give me a personal interview to even discuss. All was through telephone, through calling, and they just send me information about their brokerage, what they do, how I'm going to work for them. And in that process, they was telling me what I got to do, but they didn't really like educate me on how I'm going to do, how what I'm going to do for them. They just talked about them, and not about me, knowing that I'm a new business, because in the real estate market, in the real estate industry, in this game, you're on your own. When you go out into this real estate market, you're not going to know what you're doing because no one's teaching you. That's what I believe a broker should be doing with new agents. They should be teaching them how to run a business, not say, here's the paperwork, here's your pen, here's the phone, you're on your own. That's what they did to me.
And see, so you have one business model where you're looking for a brokerage that's going to help you expand your business. But these brokers that you were referring to are in a recruiting model, and their job is to recruit as many agents as they possibly can. And
Right.
so, in that zeal to recruit as many agents, there gets to be impersonal. Now, fortunately and unfortunately, that model that you just discussed is definitely going to be the future. We have a lot of brokers out there now that have no location. Everything is done virtually, and so from the interviewing process to the deal, it'll all be done by phone, and it'll have that very impersonal feeling. But that is the future where we're getting replaced with kiosk and automation, because the average person doesn't want to do the mundane chores anymore, and therefore they're too good for those mundane chores, so they're being replaced with kiosk and automation. And so understand that you're starting to experience that impersonal involvement. So now talk about, did they have any requirements, dollar coming out of your pocket to sign up with them?
Oh, definitely. Like I was saying, with that one broker, they said to me to just start off with their brokerage, just to be in the business and in that office. I had to come with an upfront cost of $2,000
Just to work for them,
just to
just to
work.
be an independent contractor for them. And so this is the interview process that we talk about in the classroom about different brokers, especially if a Lismo says that he's a brand new agent, that is just way too much power to give to an interviewing broker to find out that you're a brand new agent. Of course, they're going to find this information out. They're going to want to know what kind of production you did in the past, or if you're a brand new agent. So there's really not a way of getting around it. They want to make sure that you're either a productive agent or are you just starting out. And with this information, it makes the interview process very unfair for the brand new agent. Did you find it clear as a bell of what they were explaining, of some of the things that they're offering inside, like profit sharing and recruiting? Did you find these things clear, or did you find it cloudy that you didn't understand what they were saying?
Like you were just saying, Warren, I found that cloudy. I didn't understand anything they was telling me. The only thing I understand was that I was getting paid a commission. That other than that, I didn't understand none of what they was telling me, how the recruiting process is gonna be, nothing.
And what was the commission? Were they giving you 100% commission? Was it a 50-50 split? What were they talking?
Well, for this broker, I believe they said 80-20 split.
80-20 split.
Yep.
And did they talk about graduated scales, graduated commission?
No, no, they
No.
didn't say
And so
anything.
that gets a lot of convoluted. So a lot of brokers and they kind of convolute the interview process with the upselling process of all the other things, recruiting, profit sharing, and everything. And it really does convolute the interviewing process so that the new agent really is a little overwhelmed. Now, were you allowed to get a copy of your independent contractors agreement from any of them? Did any of them send it to you or allow you to have access to it?
No, none of them.
Did you ask?
They told me, well, yeah, well, I told them if I can do that, and it was like, you can't do it until you have your license, so we can do the initial interview, so we can talk about, how much we're gonna pay you and what our rules is for our brokerage.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So it's really tight, and they want to keep everything tight to the belt and so forth. But again, the brokerage process of interviewing a broker is completely different than interviewing for a job. When you're interviewing for a job, you're bringing your traits of what you can do for the employer, and you're trying to explain to them why they would want to hire you when you're interviewing for a job. But when you're interviewing a broker for an independent contractors agreement, it's just the opposite. You want to know what the broker has to offer you. What do you have that's going to help me take my business off to the next level? And that's what the broker's supposed to offer, a platform. And a lot of brokers, what they do is they talk to you about what they'll give you if you're productive. All right, we'll give you a cruise every year if you do so many deals. We'll give you a limo if you do so many deals. We'll give you more commission if you do so many deals. And so they make it sound like if you come work for us and you become a rock star, you'll make a lot of money, but they don't teach you how to become a rock star. All right. And that's where a lot of the brokerage fall very, very short on all the bells and whistles that they offer new agents, but not what they're going to give the new agents. Now, when you interviewed me, it was a little bit different because I'm already your instructor. So you already had a background. But when you interviewed me, and we talk about this, and we were allowed to use your interview for a side class outside the Real Estate Commission's rules and regulation class. So this was outside a pre-licensing class that we did a broker interview with you. And so the class got to see that. So once again, thank you for that. And I love how you jump into these things. You're not worried about it's the first time you ever did it. You don't care about it. You just jump in. And that's I caught that immediately about your style. And so when you told me that you jumped in the cold calling, that doesn't surprise me because everything that you've done so far, you just jumped into it with hold your nose and jump and see if you can swim. And so I like that personality. That is definitely an entrepreneur personality, an entrepreneur trait. And so this is why I'm glad that you're a guest speaker on my show, which I've never had before. And so welcome to the show once again, listeners. So now we talked about your beginning, that you had an upbringing. Your father brought you up as an entrepreneur. You always had business entrepreneur going through your vein. You are now in a school. Tell me about the process of interviewing a school. How many schools did you look at? Why did you choose this one?
Well, the reason I picked this one because for me as a person, I like someone teaching me, giving me a live, I like face to face. Because I had other choices. Like I had another online school where there's no teachers, it's all on your own. And I was doing that for a couple months, but I'm like, this is not worth it for me at least. I couldn't do this. I
Mm-hmm.
took classes and I couldn't pass because I had to study on my own. I had no one guide me on how to study those things because remember, guys, was a new concept for me. All these terms, all these laws, all this math was new to me. I didn't know it, so I had nobody to teach me. They was like expect me to do it, and I wish I would have saw his videos. Those Monday, which I'm watching right now. I wish I would have saw that before I spent my money for those classes. So that made me learn in the future for anyone else that want to do it, I will recommend them to do an online class with a teacher or go in person better.
So the students know, just like we're doing right now, we're talking to each other, we're communicating. This is the classroom arena, just like we're doing. And so I will be your instructor teaching you in a way that you can learn, and you can ask me, and we can have this communication back and forth right through the classroom. So the students that are using this class right now to see if this is the avenue they want to pursue, I offer this class, and now this is the first class where you get to see the instructor and a current student who's in the classroom, so that you get a very good feel on your decision making if this is the right school for you or not. So I do all this. No other school does this. Now, Elissimo, the training that we give you, is it lively? Is it doing what it said? Because I always tell everybody that not only will I teach you how to pass the exam, I'll teach you how to run a real estate business. I'll teach you how to invest in property. I'll teach you long-term memory techniques. Have those things materialize for you so far in the 4 weeks that you have been in the class?
Definitely, definitely, guys. Like Warren was saying in those classes and in the interviews, those are all legit. Like I said, when I saw the first interview, the first reviews, I didn't believe it at first. I was a little iffy, but I wanted to try it out because as an entrepreneur, you need to put yourself out there. You need to take that decision because if you just stay in one part, you're not going to move forward. So I move forward and I thank God because I believe in God. I thank that I did that decision because by doing that decision, I was able to meet Warren and his amazing school. And his school taught me a lot. Always telling you on this class right now, on this live class teaching y'all right now, new students that want to come, I recommend it because what he's going to teach you in 1 month, 1 month, he's going to teach you so much that's so valuable in your future. It's so valuable that no other school taught me. And that 1 month I was able to pass.
I like to say, once you have a real estate license, you got a golden ticket. You'll
Yes.
never be broke. You'll never be unemployed. And just like Elismo said, I also say, wait till you see the marvelous surprises that await you. You never know what avenue, what door is going to open or present itself because of the journey that you're taking right now. So taking this real estate journey to get your real estate license is just an automatic invitation to other great things opening up opportunity for you, things that you never imagined would come your way had you not taken this journey. So I have a lot of students today looking at this free class, deciding if they want to be in the May 10th. And some of them want to be in the May 10th class, but they might not be able to afford it. And so they're thinking about the next month and the following month. But you know as well as I do, Elismo, that one thing about all us entrepreneurs is we're procrastinators. And
Yes.
we're good at putting things off to the very last minute. And we're good at finding excuses as to why we put things off. So we're very good at these things. But it does hold us back and as well. So what encouraged you to actually pull the trigger and invest the money to make the decision?
Well, for me, like Warren, definitely we do protect to procrastinate. We definitely do as entrepreneurs. I did that on my first month. I think you remember when I first contacted you when we was gonna join that first class and I didn't join yet. I was like, let me wait first. Let me build my money. Let me think about it. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it because this is for my future. I don't want to keep working for people. I don't want to no more. So I was like, I want to do what my father always told me, move forward and don't stop moving. So I'm going to do it. And I did it. And like I said, I am so grateful that I did it because it opened so much doors and so much opportunity. And that's why I'm here right now. If I didn't did that opportunity, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
See that? And now you're going to be an influencer. All right. You're going to be telling everybody how many live streaming shows you've done, how many times you were a guest speaker. You're already an influencer already now. So that's very good to add to your resume. So when you took this class, did you ever imagine that you would be a guest speaker on a live streaming show because you were a member of this class of this school?
No, I did not think I would be on guest speaker. Trust me. That was the last thing on my mind. Trust me.
And there will be many more opportunities that will be presenting themselves to you, Elismo. You're a bright young man. I think the world is your oyster. I think Dad should be very proud of his stock of what he's put into you and what you have achieved. You've taken your father's lessons well, and you didn't waste any of his time. So he can't help but be proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I thank you for being a guest speaker on my show. So now, after you're done, it looks like you might want to work with me in the real estate arena. Now, let's for giggles, pretend that you've already passed the exam. You've been a student of mine. Now you're working for my brokerage. I always encourage my new agents to start working with these first time buyers. It's a very good transition. And so that would be the course of avenue that you would be taking. Would you be ready to work your social media? Would you be ready to work the cold calls and the door knocking to be successful in this arena? If I started you working with first time buyers and stayed focused like a laser on one thing so that you monopolize on it, would you be willing to put in what would be required to be successful as a real estate agent?
Yes, I would, because my father taught me better. And I would definitely take those opportunities because you learn from your elders, you learn from people that's older than you. So if you're telling me to do those things, I'm going to do it because I know it's going to be successful in the long run.
And so you're a rare gem because most of the agents who have the desire and passion don't have the will to do what's required, and especially when it comes to leaving their comfort zone. I say everybody get together tomorrow for coffee. We're going to be door knocking. I'll drop everybody off. We're going to be, here's your 25 houses, here's your 25 houses, and we're door knocking. And guess how many people don't show up for coffee the next day because they don't want to do the door knocking. And so, again, as I said, I can't force you to be successful. I can give you the ingredients. But that's the same thing with the class. That's the same thing with the decision makers right now who are deciding if they want to take the class or not. They have the will. I'm sorry, they have the desire. They have the ambition. But do they have the will? And that's really, and you know, it's funny. You could find somebody that dropped $300 in a slot machine and not give it a second thought. But to get somebody to drop $300 on their own investment in their own education, they do nothing but second and third thought and fourth thought and think about it over and over again. So to drop $300 into a poker machine, no thought process at all, boom, it's gone. And so what? You walk away with nothing. But to invest the $300 in yourself, what a thought process we put ourselves through in
Yeah.
order to figure out if we're worth investing $300 into ourselves. And so it's amazing that I find that I do a lot of work to try to get people to find the will. They have the passion, they have the desire, they have the want, but do they have the will? And they're always finding out a reason why not to spend $300 on themselves, but yet not a clue comes across their mind when they drop into a poker machine and watch it go. So it's amazing how the brain works. So now, after you're done with this school, your next class starts May 10th, right? So you get a break from one class into the next class, and so you'll be starting your next class May 10th. And then after you're done, you're going to be going right for your real estate exam, correct? Get licensed.
Right.
Nothing's going to be holding you back. You're ready to rock and roll and proceed. You are an inspiration. I can tell you that, Lismo. I really like your name, by the way. I know you told me I can use a short name, but I just like it, Lismo. It just kind of rolls off the tongue, so I like that. And so I like using your full name when I talk to you. But you're a breath of fresh air. I love that. When we go over homework assignments, we got so many students that just don't want to speak up, don't want to talk about the homework assignment, and what they don't understand, what none of the other students understand, is that this whole classroom is one interviewing process for me. All right. So I look at the students that I know who have potential, and of course, some of the students already have brokers that they're going with. Some of the students already have a direction. We're not allowed to use the school to recruit or steer. And certainly, that I believe in the ethics and the rules and the regulations. And I try not to break any of those rules and regulations, which is why I have this free show that is outside the licensing requirement so that I can do a little bit more liberalized recruiting and talking to those who should make a decision more openly here than I can do in the classroom. And I can use brokers' names and competitors' names in this free class as long as it's not done in a despairing way. We do have to keep our behavior as professional as we can at all times, but it's good to let the students have this avenue. I don't think any other school offers this interview process where you can get to see the instructor see the platform that you're going to be using, and now thanks to you see students that are currently in the class to see their feedback and to get their feelings of what they're absorbing in the classroom. So has the live streaming platform been detrimental? Would you have preferred an in-person class, or is the live streaming class meeting your expectations?
I would say the live streaming class is meeting my expectation. Probably for others, they like it, in person. But for me, I'm already used to it since in high school, since COVID-19 happened. I had to do Zoom classes. So I'm already used to it and I like it. And the opportunity that you can use for Zoom compared to a live class is so different because he can take resources, videos, and give us all this information in this video, and not it's not the same as a live classes because it's a little bit harder to get those information. It's a little bit harder to get those facts. Unlike on a live class, it's way easier.
I love using the live streaming platform. I love it for my shows. I love it for my class. I love it for my real estate business. And so it is the future. And the thing about in person classes, and I know we want to get back to the way it was, but you and I both know if somebody's coughing or sneezing, you don't think that's going to have an effect on my thinking process. You don't think the only thing I'm thinking about is if I can spray the air. I just want to say, can you please get up and move? That's all I'm thinking about. What in
Right.
an in-person class, all right? So it's very distracting today to have somebody coughing or sneezing or talking. It's very distracting, and so the if it's a good life, because not a lot of students and not a lot of instructors have incorporated the Zoom. And
Yeah.
those who have not incorporated it do a very terrible job of teaching through the platform, and then they give a bad representation of the platform that's
Exactly.
an
Exactly.
actually a very good platform. I love incorporating the pictures. I love incorporating the court cases. I love incorporating live events into the classroom that I could only do through a live streaming platform, which I couldn't do with the in-person class. Unless I had want to have a big screen on the wall and so forth
Right.
and try to operate it. So the light, and fortunately, me and my partners in the school, I had partners in the brokerage, I had partners in the schools, and so me and my partners in the school, we were set up for the live streaming platform before COVID, before the pandemic hit. So we happened to be ahead of the curve, and fortunately we were because we did see the future. We didn't see the pandemic, but the pandemic expedited what we had already expected, what we had already envisioned. And because of the pandemic expediting everything, and because we had the foresight of being in a place, we were ready to rock and roll. So we took the live streaming class to the next course, and this is why you see the reviews. And thank you very much, Elisma, for your kind review. So you know the reviews are real when you're actually part of the review process. And we'll talk about those reviews and what those reviews will do for you in the search engine optimization and through the Google algorithm. We talk about this in the class. When we have our special business class, we'll be talking about this as well. This is something else that I did to my students that no other school offers. Also, if you ever want to come back to a class, Lismo, how much is it going to cost you?
$0.
$0 free of charge. You can come back anytime you want free of charge. And you can see we do have students that come back. They just like the atmosphere. They just like the community of being in this class, and doing the same thing over and over again, but they like it. And that's the great thing about my class. It gives the student that comfort zone that maybe they didn't gather everything the first time around. Maybe they like to do it again or a third time around to give them that confidence that they're really requiring before they go out and take the state exam. Since there's no charge to come back to my classes over and over again, this is your alma mater. This is another benefit that I use to encourage students to help become a willing participant to make a decision. Understanding that even if you have a language barrier, even if you have something that you believe is holding you back, do you think this class would prevent you from learning with the language barrier? Miss Elizabeth?
No, I don't think so. No, I wouldn't. It doesn't matter what your language, if you have an accent, as long as you put yourself out there and willing to do the work, nobody's gonna care about your accent. Not gonna care how you talk. If you can't even say your words right, can't roll it out your mouth right, it doesn't matter because what they're gonna see is the drive that you have, and that's what's important.
There you go. Very, very good. What are your goals? I mean, dollar amount. I know everybody wants to make that $100,000. What is your goal first time out at bat, your first year in the real estate business? What would you like to accomplish?
My goal is to make as much money as possible, to make as much connection as possible, because the money, I won't have the money until I grow the business and the connection. I'm not, like you always taught me, don't chase the commission check. Build that business and build that connection, because that is what's going to become the income in your business.
That's what I teach you. I say this: the business is not going to make any money. Your lead generation, your database is your business. Build up your database, learn how to do lead generation, and that will bring you your clients and your customers, and that will build your business. So one hand feeds the other, but just having the business, it's not like the movie. If you build it, they will come. Just because you have a real estate business doesn't mean everybody's going to wake up and say, I want to work with Elisma Cruz today. They don't know you until they know you, and that's where you learning how to do marketing and prospecting and getting your name out there and getting your name and face known is how you run a business. But building up your database is how the business makes money. And so we teach these things in the class because I tell you, I'll teach you how to run a real estate business and I'll teach you how to invest in property. Now, you've learned more about deed of trust, deed in trust, owner financing than probably a lot of real estate agents who got 17 to 20 years in the business pretty much know. Have you found owner financing, rent to buy, lease to purchase? Have you found these option contracts interesting for your investing world?
Yes, I found it very interesting, and I didn't even knew it existed, honestly. I thought the only way you could get a loan was through the bank. I never knew you could finance with the seller or the buyer can finance with the seller. I never knew that. And I thank for this opportunity that I learned from you that you can do that. Because if I didn't, I would have been this investor going to the bank and asking for a loan, knowing that I could have just went to the seller and asked.
You get absolutely, this creative financing and the way that our real estate market is heading with interest rates going to be going up, the lending restrictions going to be tightened, and the confidence of lenders lending will be lessened. That means the lenders will be making less loans. Then you got to know how to work around the bank when the bank is afraid to do business because they're afraid that the loans will go in default. And so we have to work around the banks when the banks. And since we're repeating the Jimmy Carter era through this administration, all we really have to do is incorporate our past into the future to understand what we learned from the Jimmy Carter era, because we're absolutely repeating that same era right now, and how a lot of people got very rich in the 80s, even though interest rates were 18 to 22% in the 80s under the Jimmy Carter era, and nobody can get a loan. People were still figuring out, because it is the American way to be creative, figuring out creative ways to be in the real estate business, even when the banks were not lending money to anybody. The world did not come to an end just because the banks are not lending money. So when you start learning these other techniques of investing in real estate, then you feel comfortable knowing that you don't have to worry about what the economy is going to do. Doesn't matter if we're in a recession. Two things that people always need no matter what: food and shelter. So no matter what, prices for gas can go up to $10 a gallon. Will they stay $10 a gallon? No, that gives the next political arena a chance to campaign on lower gas prices and give you something to bite down on, to hang their hat on. So of course these prices will come back down in the future, the ebb and the flow, but one thing will stay constant: the need for real estate and the need for food, shelter will always be there. So you got a product that's never going to be going out of style. And you know that every millionaire, billionaire, and trillionaire has real estate in their portfolio. They didn't make their money by stocks, bonds, golds, commodity, or cryptocurrency. They might have made money in that route, but I guarantee you, where their dividends comes back and forth over and over again is the real estate arena. And so it sounds like that might be something that you're going to want to do: build a portfolio of properties. Now, would you prefer to be a landlord like the average person, or would you prefer to do the owner financing, the techniques that I showed you, where you don't have to pay the taxes, the insurance, or change a light bulb or cut a lawn?
Well, if I didn't met you and didn't ditch your classes, I probably would be the average landlord. But because I learned those techniques, I can do both. Not
Yes.
even I not even that I could be the landlord, but get a property manager to manage my properties.
Very, very good. And that's exactly what you want to do. And so we got companies out there like mine that just does that: property management for others who don't want to have the responsibility of finding tenants, doing evictions, doing the bookkeeping, the accounting, and so forth. A lot of work in property management. And so having a portfolio of properties, being the investor is one thing, but as I talked about on my last show, it comes down to management. And if you can't manage all the properties that you have in your portfolio that you were able to accumulate, then you could lose money on that investment because you don't know how to manage it properly. So, managing is a big detail that we talk about in the classroom, not only for your real estate business, but for your life. And if it's not managed well, then it can get away from you. It can get out of control. And so, as I said in class, there's one of my weaknesses, management. On the job training, learning. The way I wanted to teach one way, I had to find out I had to teach a completely different way because the brain didn't work the way I was hoping to demonstrate it. Since the brain was not absorbing it, I had to figure out another way so that my students could understand the concept. So it's a learning curve all the way around. So you can never go into anything. You know what they say about plans. Plans never work out the way you plan. It always goes the opposite direction of the way you plan. But you got to start with a plan and have some idea of where you want to start. But that's just the start. You never know where it's going to take you in your journey. And so that's the beauty of having your own company is the journey, the ride, that things that you never would have done. You know, when I worked my first commercial transaction, I didn't understand half the language that was being used. I was just playing along like I understood what was going on. I didn't understand any of the contract because it wasn't a residential contract, it was a commercial contract. I didn't understand the commission, and so it was different terminology. But I just perpetrated the fraud and act like I'd done this 1,000 times before. And so a lot of your personality deals with the risk and the chances that you're willing to take. And that's where I see a lot of potential for you. There is nothing blocking you. There is nothing holding you back. There's nothing that's putting any fear in you that's going to prevent you from being successful. So all I can see is you can't wait to espouse the energy that you have built up to bring it to the principles that you're learning, and you just waiting to be successful. It's just a time frame. It must be frustrating for you to have to go for another 4 weeks knowing that you already want to be successful and you're ready to rock and roll.
That's cool, man. Can't wait. I can't wait. Trust me, I can't.
Well, everything in due time. So you're doing a great job and you're coming along. And so I'll probably have you get back as a guest speaker. I'm sure my audience would probably want to see how you're doing in the future. And then, of course, when you come work for me, I'll have you on my other show as an agent of the brokerage. And so now the students will get to see your journey from when they interviewed, when they took this free class and they saw you as a guest speaker, a student. And then in a couple weeks from now, 4 to 8 weeks from now, they'll be seeing you as a professional licensed real estate agent. And in a year from now, they're going to see your accomplishments. And in 3 years from now, your accomplishments. And then who knows, 4 years, 5 years from now, this is all you, baby. This is you being the broker. This is you running the show. This is you doing the teaching. This is all you. And remember what I said, I'm always looking for instructors. So when you're ready, all right, to teach a class, just let me know. All right.
Definitely, definitely.
It's all about the instructors. So 3 years, 5 years from now, this will be your show. This will be you sitting here, Elissimo, and everybody that's tuning in today is watching History in the Makings.
True, y'all are. Y'all definitely are.
Now, will you be staying in Pennsylvania, or are you planning on going to any other states?
Well, for right now, I'm gonna stay in Pennsylvania. But as a Puerto Rican man, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Hispanic, so I like my hot. I do
Yeah,
like being hot. I don't like being cold. But for now, I'll stay in Pennsylvania. But my future plans is to be in Florida because I want to
that's
be
where I'm
out
going to. Everybody's gravitating to Florida. All right. Where it's still a free country, where you're not under any ridiculousness or fear factors so Florida has always been that breath of fresh air, that reality that America is still great. Of course, you have to go to Florida to make sure that
there.
America is still great. But there are some other states that are coming along as well. But Florida still gives you, and I love how those who want to put everybody under constraints is the ones flashing down to Florida so that they could be not under the constraints they want everybody else to be under. So it's amazing how that works. But again, I get to have fun watching it. So, okay, so the future is just like me. I'm going to be retiring in Florida. I got the Philippines, I got Florida. So I'm very lucky that I have, real estate around the states and around the country and around the world. And so I'm lucky to be in that position. And so now I'm just looking for my retirement days. And
Right.
so I thought I was retiring. Little did I know I'd be starting a new brokerage. All right, that I did not expect. But as I said, you never know what's going to happen. It takes you down a journey, and you can never imagine the marvelous surprises that await you until you get it. So once you get that real estate license, everything changes. The whole
Right.
world changes, and you never have to go look for a job ever again. Work will now come to you. Once you
Right.
have that real estate license, you'll never look for a job again. Work will constantly come to you.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to all the? Well, you're already getting interview
Yeah.
requests. Yeah, so you didn't even. So it's interesting that they're already on top of you, brother. Because usually they pay for this list after you pass the real estate license. Then they know about you, and then all the brokers start recruiting you because they pay for this list. But somehow or another, your reputation's already out there. They're already recruiting you, so they've already asked you to come work for them.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
It feels great, like I took that opportunity of myself, being that person that drive. I went to those brokers. They didn't need to pay me. I told them, you want me. You want me. I'm a hard worker. Look, I'm coming to you without you even paying to see that I got my license. I don't even have my license yet, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna get my license and I can work for you. But are you gonna take that opportunity to invest in me? That's what students gotta learn. You gotta take that opportunity.
And you know how many brokers will miss this opportunity and they'll say to you, get the license, and come back after they get the license? They just missed the opportunity.
That's
You were giving them an opportunity now. You were telling them that you want me. I'm not licensed yet, but if you're willing to take a risk, stay in contact with me and cultivate me, then I might be a worthwhile investment for you. You know how many brokers will miss this opportunity and say, come back and see me when you get licensed?
Yep.
By then, it's too late. You missed the opportunity. And so this is it. And this is why I teach my students to start interviewing brokers now before they get a license so that they can see the true vision of the broker. This way here, there's no ambiguity. Because once you get your license, then they're going to treat you completely different because you got the commodity. And so now they want you because you got the license. But did they want you before you had the license? There's the true picture of what you get to see. And this is what I like my students to do, interview brokers. And so in this process of answering the students' questions, and you did a great job, Lismo, of explaining what the students will see. This is the platform. What you feel that the class is doing for you. You're encouraged to come to the next portion of the class, and I'm encouraged to see the outcome for you. So, would you recommend this school and this live streaming platform at
I
this
will
stage of me?
recommend, yes, I will recommend this 100%, not even 1,000%. That's how confident I am in this class and future students that will come. I am so confident that they will learn so much in this class. And like Warren is telling you, don't miss this opportunity. It's right in your hand. Don't waste $300 on that new iPad, on that new AirPods. No, don't waste it. Invest it in yourself. You're in this class. You're watching us right now because you're an entrepreneur. You have something in your heart that's telling you, I want to do something greater in this world. Because all those great people in this world were entrepreneurs. They had a dream. They probably didn't have business, but they had a dream to change the world and their viewpoints and what they believe that should be the correct way. All our leaders, all our people in the history, they taught us they were entrepreneurs. They led the future. And that's what I'm telling y'all to lead your future. Don't waste that $300. Spend it on yourself. And if you don't like it, just spend it once. And if you don't like it, y'all can leave. You're not forced to pay the two classes. Y'all just pay it once. If you don't like it, it's fine. But at least you did it to know, yes, I'm ready to do this opportunity. And if it's fit for me, I will continue investing in myself. And that's the spirit of an entrepreneur.
Well, not only are you an entrepreneur, but you're an inspiration as well, and you're encouraging, and that mojo that you have right now is going to go a long way to help your clients, help them make decisions because you have the ability to help them make a decision. And so that's going to go a long way in your arena. And that is the trick and the art of being a successful entrepreneur is if you have the ability not to help, not to make decisions for people, but to help them make decisions, that is going to be your success ratio. And I can already hear that you have that ability to convince people to do what's right for themselves. But sometimes they need a little kickstart, they need a little encouragement, they need a little push. And that's all they take. It's all it takes for a lot of people to be very successful is just a little encouragement, just that little incentive, just that little push. And you have done a great job of giving a little push to those who need a little push to help them help themselves. And so, Elismo, thank you very much for your inspiration, for your sharing of your experience, your life with us, and your future plans. We encourage that everything works out great for you. I wish you nothing but the best in life. And I look forward to being a part of that and sharing the journey with you as you go along. And I thank you for allowing me to share this journey with you. I'm looking forward to it as well as you. So thank you very much. This was a great experience. I hope everybody liked it. Ladies and gentlemen, please, onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. Also, my number is 267 972 1084. 267-972-1084. These are upcoming classes, ladies and gentlemen. So the next class will be May 10th for our morning class, which will be fundamentals. Our evening class will be practice. So they're not the same classes, they're different classes. And then after the May 10th class, June 14th will be our next class. So you have onlinerealestateschool.inc.com. There's my number, 267 972 1084. Reach out. You have any questions? Please, in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen, leave your comments. Tell us what you thought of Elisimo. Give a big shout out to Elisimo Cruz, who's going to be, you'll know that name soon, ladies and gentlemen. So know it now as a student because one day he'll be setting the real estate world on fire and you'll see his name all over the place. So, Elisimo Cruz, thank you very much for sharing your journey with us. I think the students appreciate it and you gave them some insight. I appreciated it and it was a great experience for me. First time I had a guest speaker, so hopefully this worked out well. I didn't want the screen bouncing back and forth, so I decided to keep this split screen, and hopefully the students like it. I have all this other bells and whistles to make all this other things work out. I just haven't incorporated everything. I forget what you even call it, but I have other things that make this show look even better. But eventually, you know, just working, doing too many things that right now, running a school, running a brokerage, running two shows, running the clients, just, and so I'm coming up a little short on things that I like to do. I wanted to do a lot better job of promoting this class, and I didn't do such a good job of promoting this class. It's times like this that I miss Emmanuel, my assistant. So hopefully the times will change where I can get him back again, and he can do the great work that he does. But yeah, I'm a little stretched out trying to do it all myself. So thank you again for helping me. I didn't have to do all the talking on the show today. So thank you very much, Elismo. It was great. I hope to see some of you in my class, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to make you all licensed real estate professionals. So please like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave your comments. It's not being live streamed. You usually watch the show on what, LinkedIn, Elismo? Is that
I watched it on YouTube.
okay? YouTube?
Yes,
Because I saw, but you have watched it on the LinkedIn in the past, right?
yes, correct.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen you on that. So, yeah, so I do a live stream to all the social media platforms right now, ladies and gentlemen. So, every Monday at 6 p.m., this is called the free live streaming real estate class, where we talk about students and their journey and joining a real estate school. And so, we bring this class to you every Monday to see if we can answer some of your questions. Please leave your questions in the comments. Again, our guest speaker was Elismo Cruz, who's a current student of online real estate school and was nice enough to share his time and his experience and his journey and his vision with us. So once again, Elismo, thank you very much for your participation. I wish you the best. I look forward to seeing you in class on the 10th as well as many of my other students. Looking forward to it. And so that concludes this Monday show, ladies and gentlemen, of Online Real Estate School Inc.'s free live streaming real estate class. Till next Monday, be safe, be healthy, be happy, and God willing, I'll see everybody next Monday. Thank you. Thank you again, Lismo. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching as well.
All right. Thank you. Enjoy.